Welcome to Ghoul Talk, open late. Just a heads up, we'll be talking about death, obituaries, and real people. We mean no disrespect to the deceased, their families, or their communities. Whenever necessary, names or details may be changed or omitted. Our goal is to share stories, find the humor in the strange and the spooky, and keep things lighthearted, never cruel. Welcome back to Ghoul Talk Open Late, where we talk about horrifying things, but in the tone of girls whispering at a sleepover like, okay, that house was literally cursed. This is basically the podcast version of texting your friend at 1:47 a.m. like, be honest, do you ever feel like someone's watching you? And they instantly reply because obviously they're awake too. I want to say though that if April texted me at that hour, she's not hearing back until 6:30 a.m. minimum. I sleep just fine.
Can confirm. This show is spooky, a little unhinged, and honestly, kind of comforting. Like trauma bonding over ghost stories, but specifically with snacks involved. Always snacks. Horror is not meant to be consumed on an empty stomach. The vibes are haunted, and we are absolutely eating through it. So grab your coziest blanket and whatever snack is keeping you emotionally stable tonight, and let's get into episode 9.
So, April, what'd you bring?
I brought something that I just actually realized is completely inappropriate because it's winter and there's like 3 feet of snow outside right now. But my snack came out of the freezer. But first we should talk about our Starbucks drinks because you just made that very great sound.
They're also iced coffee.
I'm drinking a venti iced banana protein cold foam matcha. I never would. If the sticker wasn't on it, I wouldn't know what I'm drinking, but it's banana bread, like matcha iced latte thing. Yeah, it's delicious.
I don't understand matcha. Is it tea?
I don't know. It's a green powder, and I don't know. I like it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand the matcha. I even said that to the lady. I'm like, so that banana matcha thing, please don't hate me. I don't know what matcha is.
It tastes like I'm drinking banana bread. I barely even taste the matcha. It's so banana-y, which I love banana flavored anything. And then, what do you have?
Iced brown sugar oat shaken espresso.
Wow. Why do they make their names so long? Like, I've never remembered that. Luckily, I just can order on the app, but...
Double. Could you...
Anyways, with our drinks aside, I thought I'd add another icy cold snack. Please close your eyes and put out your hand.
Oh, no.
And if you hate this, it's going to be really sad, because I love these. There you go.
I don't even know what that is. What is it?
These are... So it's ice cream inside. And it's like a candy... No, it's like a... I don't know what the shell is made out of, actually. It's like it's something kind of hard. You know when you get the ice cream, the dipped cones from Dairy Queen, it's got that... It's like the shell?
Yeah.
How it freezes like that? I don't know what this is, but it's the same kind of idea. And it's peach.
Oh, I like peach.
And it's like... It looks like a peach emoji. Like, look, it looks like a bum. And it is an ice cream. And there's... You got it. This is going to be interesting to open. You kind of go like this. You rip.
Mine didn't work.
Mine didn't work either. All else fails, you pop it open from the bottom.
Oh wait, no. We gotta take a picture of this.
Oh. So, yeah, these came from the same cafe that we got the sushi from the other time there. But these I absolutely love. And, like, this, just the smell. It smells like peach.
Oh, it does. Holy, does it ever smell like peach?
So this is your first time?
I don't know what this... Yeah, I've never seen
Should we
these.
cheers?
What? Okay.
Do you like it? Oh, you just went right in for the bite.
Yeah.
That's good, right? Mm-hmm. These were like super viral on TikTok for a while.
I've never seen this before.
There's an interesting video of Shay Mitchell eating one of these, and she takes a bite and she's like, and she goes,
Shay, Pretty Little Liars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's Canadian. Did you know that?
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's a good show.
Yeah, I like that show too. So you like it. Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe we should do a rewatch of that. I love it. I love the intro too when they're just like, got a secret, can you keep it? And at the end they're like, shh.
Yeah.
Oh, I just painted a picture. If you've seen that show, you know. It was good. And it went a little off the rails near the end, but
yeah.
That's fine. So now we have peach. Delicious. You have espresso and peach, and I have peach and banana. So all the food groups are really covered here. We've got dairy. Lots of dairy.
I've got oat.
I'm actually sensitive to dairy, so this is going to bother me.
But I'm like, this is the best thing ever.
It's great, right?
I'm just mowing down
It's
on
so good. Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Spreaker, the platform responsible for a rapidly spreading condition known as podcast brain. Symptoms include buying microphones you don't need, explaining RSS feeds to confused relatives, and saying things like, "Sorry, I can't talk right now, I'm editing audio." If this sounds familiar, you're probably already a podcaster. The good news is Spreaker makes the whole process simple. You record your show, upload it once, and Spreaker distributes it everywhere people listen. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and about a dozen apps your cousin swears are the next big thing. Even better, Spreaker helps you monetize your show with ads, meaning your podcast might someday pay for, well, more microphones. Start your show today at Spreaker.com. Spreaker, because if you're going to talk to yourself for an hour, you might as well publish it.
It literally tastes like a peach.
Mm-hmm.
Just a cold one.
You know what it reminds me of? Another Canadian throwback. You know the peach juice from Tim Hortons? Yeah. This tastes like that same kind of peach. Mm-hmm. It's so peachy. Mm-hmm. I love it. I don't care how fake it is.
I know, I love that.
It's so good.
It is good.
Uh-huh. There we go. There's our snacks.
The peaches.
Peaches for me.
Eat a lot of peaches.
Moving to the country, gonna eat a lot of peaches.
Yeah.
Now, as always, we need to start with tarot, a little spiritual appetizer before the full course nightmare. Hashtag tarot time! Ooh. And what deck is this again, Sarah? Do you remember what this one's called?
My horror tarot, which is...
That's hard to say.
It is really...
That's like rural.
Horror tarot.
Tarot.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow. Okay. We pulled the Nine of Wands, which is basically the tarot card of being emotionally tired, but still standing. It's the final girl energy. The I've been through too much already card. You're guarded, you're exhausted, and you're still like, I swear if one more thing happens, I'm done.
It's literally the card of someone holding on by a thread, but still showing up anyway. It's surviving, but out of spite. It's the vibe of answering one more text before you throw your phone into the toilet.
This card feels like someone who has survived 8 horror movies already, and the 9th is just called Leave Me Alone.
This is honestly so fitting as we are heading into Scream 7 territory now. Neve Campbell is basically the Nine of Wands in human form. Sidney Prescott has been emotionally tired, but still standing since 1996.
Love Sydney.
And speaking of Scream 7, I just want to welcome everybody right now. You didn't know this, but you are actually entering into our book club for a movie. A series of movies actually called Scream.
Because who has time to read?
Right. And Sarah, you know, so Scream 7 is coming out when?
February 27th.
Right? Mm-hmm. I don't know what day of the week that is. Friday, maybe?
Yeah, Friday. Movies come out on Fridays.
Okay. I don't know. I have streaming. Anyways, movie comes out. We're going to go see it.
I'm very excited.
But we need to watch every single other movie in the franchise ahead of time. Right. As a refresher, because obviously that's what you do. Mm-hmm. So we've already watched movie 1, which is just called Scream. And it was in 1996, which I thought was crazy. I don't think I really ever paid attention to the year that came out. Crazy, 96.
96.
So I also wanted to talk about, just while watching this movie, and since we made Jiffy Pop last time, that was very misleading watching her Jiffy Pop on the whole time I was getting anxiety about...
She just left it there.
Yeah. She put it on the thing, on the stovetop, and just left it there. And I was like, dude, it says you don't do that, first of all. And it would have just, oh my God, that popcorn, I mean, obviously it caught fire in the movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it would have been just, it just gave me so much anxiety. So that sent me. Another note I made from that movie is the people's, every house in this movie, including the one in the opening scene, they all have way too many doors, especially glass patio doors.
And, okay, why are they all millionaires?
That's another note I made. These houses are mansions.
Like, huge, multi-level decks spanning the...
They're incredible. At the very end scene, they, kind of pan out, and I'm looking at this house, I'm like, this is... Who lives in these houses? I'm like, were we growing up with this idea of this is what your house should look like? Our houses don't look like that.
Nuh-uh.
Crazy. So yeah, too many doors, especially too many sliding glass / patio doors, and you have to run around and lock them all because they're all unlocked all the time. And when the killer calls and he's clearly outside watching you, you have to like race to all the doors. And I'm like, God, just lock your doors and you wouldn't have this problem. But it wouldn't be a movie otherwise. So my husband made a good point, because I told him as I was watching the first Scream, I said, it's funny. And we talked about this last time on our podcast, that Drew Barrymore's like the cover, and she's like, when it's in all the advertising, and like, she's the star, blah, blah, blah.
She is the star.
But she dies in the beginning of the movie. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, since 1996. She dies. And Jeremy goes, yeah, but you're still talking about it to this day. And I was like,
yeah,
good point.
No
He's
one
like,
is safe.
Yeah, he said, they did that on purpose. You're still talking about it now. And I'm like,
30 years.
good point. That's scary. That makes me feel old. Please don't do that. There's one point in the movie where Sydney mocks people who run upstairs because they're idiots and they should just run out the front door. And then like a second later, she does it.
Yeah.
She locks herself in the house and then runs upstairs.
I don't understand the typing to 911. Like,
Oh
how
my
did that
God.
just pop up?
Okay, that's in one of the Halloween movies too. That I remember. Do you remember? I think it was the one with Busta Rhymes. What one is that? Halloween H2O. I think it.
Oh, I
is
feel
it?
like
No.
it's after H2O.
What is it? Why am I drawing a complete blank right now? Anyway, it's the one with Busta Rhymes and Tyra Banks. Excuse my brain fart. It's totally Halloween Resurrection, circa 2002. And there's that girl who's like got her little Palm Pilot-y thingy, and she's messaging the guy outside of the house at the Halloween party on like the computer randomly at the house. And I'm like, how is this communication? And then you got Kelly Rowland over here in a music video trying to text Nelly on Excel. Like, the math isn't mathing on this.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, when she like types on the computer to call 911, and
I'd be dead.
And 911 writes back going, "What's your emergency?" I'm like, nobody's sitting here like firing up the internet going, "Reader, and like, 911, we have an emergency.
I just like, I would be dead. Like, I can type, but to
come
save my
on.
life, no.
In an emergency? That blew my mind too. I'm like, they were trying to, at that point in time, people thought we'd be in flying cars by now, like the Jetsons. So I get it. Like, I get what they were doing there, but it was just really funny. Oh, another thing I wanted to ask you, I didn't fact check this at all, I've just made this assumption. Was that Wes Craven as the janitor in the Freddy sweater in the movie?
Yes.
Okay. Because I saw it and I was like, I think that's Wes Craven, and he's purposely wearing like a Freddy Krueger sweater as a janitor, just quick little shot of him mopping the floor. And I thought that was so cool.
And Mr. Himbree's like, not you, Fred.
Yeah, and I'm just like, that was so... Like I said, didn't Google it, but Sarah would know.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a line, somebody said it. They said, this is starting to sound like a Wes Carpenter flick or something.
Yeah, another kind of like Easter egg.
Yeah, I was like, Wes Craven, John Carpenter.
Yeah, that was Rose McGowan. Yeah,
the
she
best.
said that.
Right, yes. And I love this part when they started watching Halloween in the house party in the movie. They started watching Halloween. And then when the guy is on the couch watching Halloween and he's like, look behind you. And then the guy is right behind him in his house and no one knows it because he's like just there by himself, and he's like, oh no, look behind you. And he's talking to Laurie Strode in the Halloween movie, but really the killer guy is right behind him in his own house.
And he's
so
saying
I really like
right
that.
behind you, Jamie, and the actor is Jamie Kennedy.
Oh, did not put that together. Love that. And like the Halloween parallels, like when Dewey goes into the house and
when he's like running around like terrified.
Yeah, and then
the
Halloween,
noises.
like the tune is like, it's like do and you hear it on the TV, but it's him walking through the house, and it kind of like mimics the scenes of like him walking around when Laurie thinks that Michael Myers is dead and she's walking around and he's walking around, and then the killer comes out and then Michael Myers is like, bah! Yeah. And like, it was just so, I loved the parallels. So that was all the notes I made because, yeah, I really actually enjoyed, I've seen it a handful of times for sure, not nearly as many times as you have, but I really enjoyed kind of like noticing these little Easter eggs, and I'm sure I missed a whole bunch, but that was, and obviously the whole like Courtney Cox and David Arquette, like, was that like when their love story like kind of started?
Yes, I think that's where they met.
Oh, that's so cute. I mean, they didn't end up together
it.
forever, but, and I remember too watching Friends, remember when her last name would include Arquette and then it
they
wouldn't?
And they did one where everyone's last name said Arquette. in an episode as something funny, but yeah.
Yep.
That's probably my favorite movie of all time. I can say it word for word.
It's so well written. And it's so, I mean, the acting is, sometimes there's a few spots here and there where I was like, oh, it's so cheesy, but it's great. Yeah. Like, it's meant to be, and it's like, I wouldn't, like, no notes, I wouldn't change a thing.
No. And Matthew Lillard, like, you cannot go wrong. Yeah. Love that man.
Man, all I think about is Scooby-Doo when I see him, though.
Oh, nope. Don't even. Nope. But did you know he owns, like, an alcohol company, and they're making a limited run of, like, a Scream vodka.
What? Yeah. Matthew Lillard? He's so goofy, too, but, like, I love when, at the end, I was like, is he dying or not? Because he's holding the phone, he's all bloody, and he's like, man, I think you stabbed me too deep. I'm dying. And then, like, he got up and he was like, yeah. And then, like, he goes after, like, Sydney. And I'm like, I thought you were just dying. So I'm like, is he tricking us again? I don't know.
Well, there's rumor that he's coming back.
Oh, my God.
So I don't know if the TV killed him in the first one. Who knows? I mean, I don't know.
It's just like Michael Myers. Like, Halloween ends, but does it?
But, but, like, the thing is, with Scream, it's always a different killer.
It's different people.
So I don't know if it's... Like, there was that whole flashback in one of the other Screams of Billy Loomis, like, talking to his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if it's going to be, like, Matthew Lillard coming back kind of that way. We'll see. It's coming up. I'm excited.
It will be really good, yeah. And today we're going to watch
Number 2.
The second movie. I've got it queued up. I think I'm watching it on Paramount Plus at home because on Crave I went to turn it on and it was French, and I couldn't change the language, and I don't know what's up with that. But hearing Drew Barrymore answer the phone and they dubbed over the killer's voice in French was kind of funny.
Je m'appelle Drew.
Hello.
Oh my God.
I can't. Any more notes? Anything else we need to talk about for this session of book club / movies franchise?
I don't know. I really like just hearing your side of it because, like, I could talk all day, every day about that one. I didn't know you were taking notes while we were watching.
I didn't know I was either until I did.
So I'll take notes on number 2, and we'll go from there.
I would just like see something or whatever, and I'm like my memory is shite. Like, it'll be gone. If I don't write it down, it's gone, and I wouldn't remember to talk about it. So I just thought, I'm going to start a little text thread with me, myself, and I about this movie. And
I was also really amazed by this text thread that you have to yourself. Like, whoa, mind blown. Should be doing that.
Anybody else have, like, their own phone number pinned at the top of their, like, iPhone text messages, and you just text yourself notes all the time? That's what I do. Because I have to write everything down, but I also, like, I don't have, like, a pen. I don't write things down. I don't have time to read. I watch movies. I don't have time to write. I text.
See, I do try to read every once in a while.
Yeah, you do actually read, yeah.
But that doesn't...
I'm an audiobook girl all the way.
I also like audiobooks, but then I feel like I've cheated.
Yeah, well, part of me was like, is it included in reading? Because, like, I'm hearing the words and I'm having to interpret what they say. So I feel like it's partially like reading. Yeah. And that's what I'm going with.
Okay.
That's what I'm going with.
I'm okay with that.
I'm going to run with it. Okay, any other final notes at all on our book club? This has been a great session on number 1. Again, thank everybody for joining us. You had no idea what you were in for, but there it is. And you have the, next time to look forward to more.
Mm-hmm. Scream Book Club.
Mm-hmm.
This episode is brought to you by Spreaker, the platform responsible for a rapidly spreading condition known as podcast brain. Symptoms include buying microphones you don't need, explaining RSS feeds to confused relatives, and saying things like, "Sorry, I can't talk right now, I'm editing audio." If this sounds familiar, you're probably already a podcaster. The good news is Spreaker makes the whole process simple. You record your show, upload it once, and Spreaker distributes it everywhere people listen. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and about a dozen apps your cousin swears are the next big thing. Even better, Spreaker helps you monetize your show with ads, meaning your podcast might someday pay for, well, more microphones. Start your show today at Spreaker.com. Spreaker. Because if you're going to talk to yourself for an hour, you might as well publish it.
Yeah. So with that exhausted final girl energy, let's move on to Phantom Files and tell some spooky stories.
Ooh, I'm up first. On a quiet canal in Amityville, New York, a small waterfront village on Long Island, about 40 kilometers or 25 miles east of New York City, sits a Dutch colonial home at 112 Ocean Avenue. From the outside, it looks peaceful, expensive, and almost cozy, but in American pop culture, the house became known as the most haunted home in history. And the truth behind that reputation is darker, messier, and even more complicated than most people realize. Yes, We are talking about the Amityville Horror and the associated home.
I think that this is one of the first, like, I don't really like haunted house movies. They scare me a lot. But I think I remembered this one vividly.
This was like the first one we ever heard about. Us, anyway. We're millennials, and are we elder millennials?
We are
sadly?
elder. Yeah.
That's the first one I heard about for sure.
I remember my mom had the book as well. I remember there were flies on the cover.
Oh, that's disturbing. I know I had the book, but I'm pretty sure it was missing the cover. And I bought it at the same time I bought The Exorcist, like at a secondhand store or something. I paid like 2 pennies.
Wild woman.
I couldn't read them. I was terrified.
Then again, did you see what I had sent you the other day about the cemetery, like, logs?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I saw it on Facebook and I thought, I want this and I don't know why.
I think you should buy it.
I might.
It's cool. We could include it in the pod.
Yeah.
Who knows? Anyways.
Sorry.
On November 13th, 1974, it was a Wednesday, just like the day this podcast releases. Police received a call from a 23-year-old man named Ronald DeFeo Jr. He told them someone had murdered his family. When officers arrived at the DeFeo home, they found 6 people shot to death in their beds. His parents, his 2 brothers, and his 2 sisters. Every victim had been killed with a high-powered rifle, and there were no signs of a break-in or a struggle. And the strangest detail, all 6 bodies were found laying face down, as if they'd never woken up. Which I just got chills, because that is insane to me.
I don't understand how it's possible, because, like, a rifle is loud.
A high-power rifle. And these people were on different floors, different rooms. Like, it's not like everyone was in one room or, like, right next to each other. Like,
you had time to get
up. You had
to
walk around. Yeah. Right? So later, Ronald DeFeo Jr. confessed he had murdered his entire family in cold blood and was sentenced to life in prison, but not before everyone thought it was a mob hit and had to protect the only living family member. And most people assumed the story ended there. It did not. Just 13 months later, a young couple named George and Kathleen Lutz bought the house. They got it cheap, very cheap, because of the murders. They moved in with Kathy's 3 children and hoped for a fresh start. Instead, they said they walked into a nightmare. According to the Lutzes, strange things began almost immediately. Cold spots in certain rooms, slime oozing from walls, doors slamming on their own, invisible forces knocking Kathy over, George waking up every night at exactly 3:15 a.m., the time of the DeFeo murders, apparently. Strange odors, swarms of flies in winter, and a mysterious imaginary friend named Jody that one child claimed was a red-eyed pig spirit.
Oh, that pig spirit. When in the window. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. Ew.
Yeah.
Puke. George said he began to feel very angry and violent, and Kathy said that she felt watched. The children said they heard voices. After only 28 days, the family fled the house, leaving behind furniture, clothes, and belongings. They never returned, and soon their story went public. In 1977, author Jay Anson published a book called The Amityville Horror. It claimed to be a true story. The book exploded in popularity as millions of copies were sold, and it gained international attention. And in 1979, it became the movie The Amityville Horror. Have you seen the OG one? Of course, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one I keep going back to.
Me too, yeah. I've seen the Ryan Reynolds one, which I just thought was, like, he was...
He's so muscly.
And you know what I heard about Ryan Reynolds, which is so freaking true? I just heard this on a podcast like a couple weeks ago, probably because of the whole Justin Baldoni and Blake thing. He's in the media right now.
Yep.
And has been for like over a year. But somebody said every movie that Ryan Reynolds is in is just Ryan Reynolds acting like he's in a movie and he's so-and-so actor. Like he's so-and-so character in that movie. Like he's just acting like himself, but also... It's just Ryan Reynolds. Like, it's just him being like, and today I'm George Lutz. And like, but it's just Ryan Reynolds. Because there's one point in that movie where he's like, I remember when they're looking at the house and the real estate agent's like, well, yeah, there was like a huge mass murder here. And he's like, I'm sorry, what? And I was like, that's just Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Now, I have to say, I don't know why with this story, I have trouble like separating what happened in the movie and the first set of murders to the hauntings. I don't know why.
You're exactly like Jeremy. I might have even written that in here further, actually. He's the same way, because we were watching, like, we watched tons of, any docs and whatever about this story. And he's like, so wait, was that the DeFeo or the Lutz family one? Like, getting the 2 stories is kind of confusing, but hopefully I'm going to help clear it up a little bit today.
Yes, please.
So suddenly the house wasn't just infamous, it was legendary. But almost immediately, skeptics started asking questions, and the story began to unravel as investigators found no physical damage consistent with poltergeist activity. No police reports or medical records supporting injuries, no neighbors reporting anything unusual or proof of any claimed events. Then something even more troubling came out. The Lutzes had worked closely with a lawyer and a publisher before releasing the story. And in later interviews, people close to the case admitted parts of the story may have been invented or exaggerated. One attorney even said it was created over many bottles of wine. Over the years, DeFeo tried to change his story. So DeFeo is the original. He's the guy who
Murdered everyone.
murdered his entire... Familicide.
Yep.
Killed his whole family. He changed his story, saying he heard voices, the house made him do it, a demon possessed him, and someone else was involved. Which, I mean, someone else should have been involved when you think about how this all happened, but I don't know.
Split up the 6 people that
Yeah.
died.
That's why they thought it was a mob hit originally, and that's what he had said too. Like, you know, obviously the mob came in and did this. I wouldn't have done this by myself. It's like Lizzie Borden. I wouldn't do such a thing.
That's too much work for one person.
One little old guy. But his accounts consistently contradicted each other, and the courts rejected every claim. No evidence ever supported supernatural involvement. The courts said, nah.
They usually do.
Yeah. Ronald DeFeo died on March 12th, 2021 at the age of 69 while incarcerated in New York serving his sentence of 25 years to life. Which is also crazy, because I remember when we heard about this story, it's one of those things you think, like, this happened in the 1800s. Like, you don't think in your head, like, dude was still... He made it into COVID.
What?
He died in 2021. He knew what COVID was, and he also murdered his entire family and sparked the entire Amityville horror.
Yeah, it's
Isn't that
crazy to think
crazy?
that all of that has happened, and it seems so famous.
Yeah. And he was only 69 at the time, too, which is crazy, because he was super young when he did. He was like 23 years old when he killed his whole family.
Oh my God.
Crazy. So today, the house is still standing, and people live in it. Multiple families have owned the house since the Lutzes, and almost all of them say the same thing. Nothing unusual happens here. No hauntings, demons, voices, or slime. Just a house. In fact, the famous evil-looking attic windows were even changed to stop tourists from taking photos, which honestly is a shame. When people move into a murder house knowing its history, the mind fills in the blanks. And I'm super bummed that they changed those windows.
Me too. Lean into that
They
with
should've.
everything you have.
If you buy a house like that, you know what you're getting into.
Yeah, like, come on.
Hello. Like, I went to San Francisco a handful of years ago, and I was like, I'm going to go see the Mrs. Doubtfire house and the Full House home, which I did. And the Full House home, they've got, like, it's like huge stairs that goes up, and at the bottom of the steps, like where the sidewalk is, they put a gate, and there's a sign that says, like, please don't trespass, whatever. But they allow people to take photos and stuff, because it's like, if you buy an iconic house like that, I'm sorry, you're gonna, and I'll tell you right now, Sarah and I are gonna make a trip there one of these days.
Yes.
And we are going to drive down the street and take a picture. It's just the way it is.
Yep.
I'm not gonna knock on their door. I'm not gonna trespass on their land. I'm not gonna do anything weird. I'm gonna walk down the street. I would have loved to see those iconic windows, but they are gone. They just look weird. They're like
Little
square.
Yeah, little squares.
Nothing.
Maybe on our way down to Salem.
I think so. Yeah. You guys will hear about that probably way in the future. So anyways, there are over 40 movies and a handful of TV projects connected to the Amityville horror, making it one of the most overused true story franchises ever. These include major motion pictures, direct-to-video, and TV shows and docs. In February 1976, about a year after the Lutz family had left, Ed and Lorraine Warren, world-renowned spiritual investigators that we've mentioned before, went to 112 Ocean Avenue with a small group of journalists, TV crew, and other paranormal investigators. They planned a whole seance and to investigate the house, but it was shut down almost immediately. Why? Because it turned chaotic. They claimed doors slammed, people felt sick, a crucifix allegedly flipped. Lorraine said she sensed evil, someone fainted, and the group became frightened. They left, and that was it for them at the Amityville house. None of what they claimed was ever justified. It was all based on personal testimony. And later, journalists who were there said it was overhyped. The Warrens supported the Lutz story publicly, and it helped all sides financially and reputationally as the case boosted their fame.
That's a toughie. Like,
Yeah. I know I'm really torn on the Warrens because, again, we will go into a really deep story someday about the Warrens, but they have a museum of like haunted relics. And this place is massive and it has so much in it, including the Annabelle doll. Like, so part of me is just like, yeah, I do believe a lot of this stuff was derived from something, but probably also if they saw the money and They definitely exaggerated it over a bottle of wine. Totally. So I'm torn. A lot of people say they're complete frauds. They say they're basically like a Sylvia Browne, they say, right? Like complete frauds, like that. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard. But then you watch like the Conjuring movies and you're like, yeah, I can see this.
Yeah,
but
I love the Conjuring movies.
I only just started. Like,
ooh, I like them. Like the first one is freaking terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah, that Annabelle. I mean, the original Annabelle, like we talked about, is like a Raggedy Ann doll, not this terrifying, disgusting thing that they made in the movie. But that thing is way scarier.
Yeah.
So the Warrens only went to Amityville once, had one dramatic night and left, but Hollywood turned that one visit into a legend. I have, over the years, as I'm sure a lot of true crime lovers have also watched, many TV series and or movies on this story. But I recently watched one that I don't know how I missed in 2023 when it came out. It's on Amazon Prime and it's called Amityville, an origin story. It's a 4-part documentary series that looks at how a real family murder turned into one of the biggest paranormal legends ever. It's a great mix of true crime, media history, interviews, myth-busting, and cultural analysis. This doc finally pulled back the curtain. It showed that the haunting story wasn't something that slowly happened. It was something that was built, marketed, and sold. The murders were real, the trauma was real, but the demons, those mostly came later, after the book deals showed up, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But what makes this series different is it uses court documents, interviews skeptics, shows contradictions, explains psychology, and follows the money. I saw more real evidence footage and interviews with actual family members and real neighbors than I ever have before. It was crazy. There was like Lutz kids that were interviewed, and like you got to see George Lutz, like you got to see the real people, but there was friends and family like I've never seen on any other doc I've watched before. It was actually really good.
Now I want to see it.
So that's why many fans consider this the most honest Amityville project ever made. And I'd have to agree. It wasn't just your basic Amityville story show. It went deeper and was much more informative. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. I think if you're ever going to watch one ever, say you've never watched any, just watch that one. Because it actually like showed all sides. And it was Kathy Lutz's son, who was actually, I think he changed his last name back. And it was something about, he had this huge feud with George, and he was talking about how, like, they would get in trouble for not going along with the ghost stories and to the media and things like that. Like, they were basically media trained to say certain things. But he also did say, like, things went on in that house, but I don't think it was quite, there's still some gray area there. I don't think it was, like, the degree of what they claimed, obviously, but I know there was something about the priest that came to bless the house really did hear someone say, "Get out," like they show in the movie and things like that. Yeah. So, I mean, there was 6 people killed in that house.
Yeah, there's got to be something.
And they moved in 13 months later. So the DeFeo thing happened. That happened. That was this mass family murder that was crazy. Then the Lutzes come in just over a year later. So imagine moving into a house that a mass murder just happened in, and then you buy it a year later.
I'd love to.
You'd love to. And I mean, so were they thinking, did they, that's the thing too. I don't know if they were smart enough to come up with this idea of just being like, oh my God, we can make a bunch of money and create these crazy stories off it. Like the day they buy this house. Like, I don't know. It was a big, beautiful house with a boathouse and everything. And I think they just like saw it and thought it was a great deal for the price, because it was.
Yeah.
Because a murder happened there.
I don't want to say that I need that to happen. You looked behind us so quickly there.
No, because my dog is barking and I don't know why. I'm just going to pause.
Pause and check. Okay, so here comes my Phantom Files, and we're going to remember that we discuss real events involving real people. We approach every story with respect for the deceased and their loved ones. Some details may be unsettling, and listener discretion is advised.
This episode is brought to you by Spreaker, the platform responsible for a rapidly spreading condition known as podcast brain. Symptoms include buying microphones you don't need, explaining RSS feeds to confused relatives, and saying things like, "Sorry, I can't talk right now, I'm editing audio." If this sounds familiar, you're probably already a podcaster. The good news is Spreaker makes the whole process simple. You record your show, upload it once, and Spreaker distributes it everywhere people listen. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and about a dozen apps your cousin swears are the next big thing. Even better, Spreaker helps you monetize your show with ads, meaning your podcast might someday pay for, well, more microphones. Start your show today at Spreaker.com. Spreaker. Because if you're going to talk to yourself for an hour, you might as well publish it.
In 1995, Sonny Graham was told he was running out of time. At 57, his heart was failing, literally. Doctors said he had 6 months, maybe less. Then came the call every name on the transplant list waits for. A donor heart was available.
Oh, heart.
Yeah.
That's tough.
The donor was a 33-year-old man named Terry Cottle. He died by suicide. No connection to Sonny, no shared history, just one man's tragedy becoming another's second chance. The surgery went well. Sonny recovered, grateful, full of life again, but some people around him said that something had changed. Small things at first. He started craving foods he never liked before. He was more restless, a little impulsive, a little louder. He chalked it up to gratitude or adrenaline or just the strangeness of living on borrowed time. Years later, Sonny reached out to the donor's family. That's when he met Cheryl Cottle, Terry's widow. They exchanged letters, then phone calls, and eventually met face to face.
I have chills right now. Not just because it's cold in here.
Just you wait. Some said it was fate. Others called it something weirder. Either way, Sonny fell in love with the widow of the man whose heart now beat inside his chest.
Oh my God.
They married. They built a quiet life together in Georgia, the kind that looks normal from the outside but never quite feels settled. Neighbors said Sonny was devoted, doting even. But under the surface, he was still chasing a calm that never came. He'd been given another man's heart, and it was never still. On April 1st, 2008, Sonny walked into his garage and took his own life. The same way his donor, Terry Cottle, had. Same method, same final act, different man, but same heart. The police ruled it a suicide. Family and friends called it impossible, but the symmetry was too much to ignore.
Oh my God.
2 men, 1 heart, 2 identical endings. Science will tell you there's no such thing as cellular memory.
They lied. They're lying.
Yeah.
No.
No ghost in the muscle, no soul in the organ. But this case doesn't make it easy to believe that. Sorry, everyone, if you can hear the little boop, boop, boop. We have a visitor. Her name is Gypsy.
She doesn't shut up. She's a toy poodle.
Doctors offered theories: survivor's guilt, depression, coincidence. Maybe Sonny felt haunted by gratitude, the pressure of living for 2 men instead of 1. Maybe he saw Cheryl not just in love, but a mirror of the life that wasn't his to begin with.
Oh God.
And maybe, just maybe, something deeper connected them. The kind of thread science can't measure. It's the kind of story that makes skeptics pause, and believers, they don't even blink. Because really, if a heart remembers how to beat, who's to say it can't remember who it belonged to?
Totally.
Yeah. Still, you have to admire the cosmic drama of it all. Man gets new heart, marries donor's widow, lives happily ever after, until he doesn't. Even Hollywood would say, okay, tone it down.
Yeah, that the whole marrying the widow, that's a next level. That's wild.
Creepy. This wasn't fiction. This was Sonny Graham, a man who borrowed time, borrowed love, and maybe, just maybe, borrowed fate. Whether it was a coincidence or something far stranger, one thing's for sure. Some hearts just can't forget where they came from.
That is... That made me think of a few different things. One of them, a little on the funnier side, is did you see that episode of Shameless when Frank got a donor liver from someone?
I was not the biggest fan of Shameless. So.
Oh my God, I loved it. But like, I'll give you the brief, so Frank obviously destroyed his liver by drinking because he's that guy. Yeah. And then the family of the donor invited all of the people over who got the organs from their son who died, like eyes, lungs, liver, whatever, right? And they came to the house, and Frank would say like, "Hey, I'm Frank. I'm the liver." And he'd shake someone's hand, and they'd go, "I'm the eyes," and it was kind of funny. And yeah, he was really playing on the whole like, I feel like, was your son? And he would try to like connect with the parents, but he was totally BSing it. Just made a total joke out of it, but it's real, I feel like. And have you ever heard about people dying of a broken heart?
Yeah.
Like they really, like that's a real thing. So I'm sorry, if you can die by a broken heart, then when your heart gets placed into somebody else's body, you can 100,000% feel the things that it's the heart.
Yeah.
And how fitting. It's February. We're talking about
hearts.
And it's almost Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Like, come on. I'm sorry. That's real. Take that, science! Okay, spooky stories aside, it's time for Final Draft, and tonight's is a little different. We're taking a moment for a loving tribute to Catherine O'Hara, because honestly, she raised an entire generation of weird, dramatic 90s kids.
March 4th, 1954 to January 30th, 2026. Catherine O'Hara has died.
This episode is brought to you by Spreaker, the platform responsible for a rapidly spreading condition known as podcast brain. Symptoms include buying microphones you don't need, explaining RSS feeds to confused relatives, and saying things like, "Sorry, I can't talk right now, I'm editing audio." If this sounds familiar, you're probably already a podcaster. The good news is Spreaker makes the whole process simple. You record your show, upload it once, and Spreaker distributes it everywhere people listen. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and about a dozen apps your cousin swears are the next big thing. Even better, Spreaker helps you monetize your show with ads, meaning your podcast might someday pay for, well, more microphones. Start your show today at Spreaker.com. Spreaker, because if you're going to talk to yourself for an hour, you might as well publish it.
And if you were anywhere in the 90s generation, the kids who grew up on VHS tapes, sleepovers, Tim Burton marathons, and the sacred comfort of movies you could quote before you could drive, then this loss doesn't feel distant. It feels personal. It feels like someone reached directly into the emotional furniture of childhood and stole something holy. Because Catherine O'Hara was never just an actress. She was an era. She was the background music of growing up. She was the woman who could walk into a scene, blink once, and suddenly everyone else was simply blessed to be nearby. For so many of us, she was there first as Kate McAllister, the frantic, fierce mother of Home Alone, sprinting through airports and panic with only one word as both prayer and weapon: "Kevin!"
Oh.
And somehow she made that chaos feel like love, like devotion, like the kind of mother energy that could bend the universe back into place through sheer force of will and a winter coat. Then she belonged to the strange, the theatrical, the beautifully haunted. She was Delia Dietz in Beetlejuice, art smock icon, goth stepmom blueprint, a woman living perfectly in that liminal space where the living and the dead share the same hallway. And everyone looks fabulous doing it. And yes, for the soft-hearted spooky kids, she was the forever part of the eerie beauty of the 90s through The Nightmare Before Christmas. As the voice of Sally, Catherine gave us gentleness wrapped in melancholy, a stitched-together soul yearning for freedom, proof that darkness could still be tender, that spooky could still be safe. Her voice was a candle in the strange.
She sang so well, too. Like, she sounded so good in that movie.
She was fantastic.
I didn't know for years that it was Catherine O'Hara.
Same. Her career stretched across decades of legendary work. From SCTV to the Christopher Guest films, from absurd brilliance to warmth so human it hurt. She performed alongside icons like John Candy in that perfectly offbeat era of comedy. Folky pokey, earnest, ridiculous, and somehow deeply comforting. Catherine's humor was never empty. It was never cruel. It was precision. It was soul. And then, as if she hadn't already carved herself into the foundation of pop culture, she gave the world Moira Rose. A woman made entirely of wigs, grief, couture, and vocabulary that sounded like it was pulled from an enchanted Victorian dictionary. Moira Rose didn't enter television, she descended. She arrived like a haunting. She gave us lines that were not dialogue so much as emotional spells. "Be careful, John, lest you suffer vertigo from the dizzying heights of your moral ground."
That was so good.
She told us, "Baby,
Baby.
you mustn't.
And I can't say baby, ever. I have to say baby.
Baby." She reminded us with absurd tenderness, "Take 1,000 naked pictures of yourself now." And honestly, that quote alone should have granted her immortality. Moira made us laugh when the world was burning. She made melodrama feel like survival. She made being strange feel like power. And now she's gone. And it feels impossible. Because Catherine O'Hara was one of those rare people who seemed permanent. Like she would always be there in the background.
Yeah.
On Christmas reruns. On late night rewatches. In the weird comfort of knowing that somewhere Moira Rose was still adjusting a wig and judging someone gently. For the 90s generation, this is not just the death of a performer. It's the loss of a piece of childhood, a piece of laughter, a piece of home. So tonight, we mourn properly, Moira style. We collapse into the fainting couch of nostalgia. We sob theatrically into an expensive sleeve. We raise a glass of something vaguely European. And through tears we whisper, I love that journey for her. Even though we do not. We do not love this journey. We hate this journey. We're suing this journey. Rest in peace, Catherine O'Hara. May your afterlife be filled with soft lighting, impeccable comedic timing, and absolutely no one asking you to be normal. Because spooky never sleeps, and legends don't either. They simply change wardrobes.
Ah, that was so good.
No, thank
I
you.
can't believe she's gone. I mean, this is still super fresh right now.
Yeah,
You texted me. I'm at work. You're at work. You texted me, and you said Moira's gone, and I said what? And I opened Facebook immediately, and it was all over. I always have to Google it because everything is fake news now.
Yep.
And I'm like, no, this isn't real. This isn't real.
Mark Twain.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's Canadian. Heartbreaking. And I've been seeing obviously tons of stuff like on the news and stuff lately about Eugene Levy. Like they've worked together for like
A long
50
time.
years or something crazy like that. Like they've known each other forever.
Yep. Rest in peace.
So that leads me right into our coffin break.
Okay.
Let's start with a little. Here we go. Now, a moirologist is a very rare and old-fashioned term that can mean one of two related things, depending on context.
Wait, what?
Both tied to death and fate. Moirologist. Someone who studies death, fate, or mourning. The word comes from the Greek moira, fate, destiny, and logos, study and word. So originally, moirology meant the study of fate, death, and human destiny. In this sense, a moirologist is someone interested in how people face death, how cultures mourn, and how fate and mortality are understood, funeral traditions, and grief rituals. Think part philosopher, part death historian. And number 2, someone who studies or performs funeral laments. In some cultures, moiralgia are funeral songs or laments, so a moirologist can also mean someone who studies, records, or performs mourning songs and death rituals.
Okay.
You will almost never see this as a real career title today. No one is out here with a business card that says, Martha, certified moirologist.
Why not? That sounds cool.
We could bring it back. It's mostly used in academic writing, old literature, dark poetry, gothic, and spooky contexts. If someone says moirologist, they usually mean a person obsessed with death, fate, and mourning. Or more casually, someone who studies or talks about death. A moirologist is basically someone who mourns in doom, destiny, and funerals.
It's like me.
Now, ever since I heard this term, I immediately thought, well, obviously Moira Rose was inspired by this, no?
Huh.
Well, the word does fit her vibe perfectly.
Yeah.
Moira Rose from Schitt's Creek was created and shaped by Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy. They've said Moira was inspired by old Hollywood divas, faded soap opera stars, stage actresses who never turned off, wealthy women who became ultra dramatic to cope. Think washed up glamour plus theater kid plus emotional melodrama. Why moirologist feels like Moira. Even though it wasn't intentional, Moira absolutely talks like one. A moirologist, someone obsessed with fate, tragedy, and dramatic suffering. And Moira constantly mourns her lost life, talks like she's in a funeral play, treats mild problems like Greek tragedies, acts like every setback is Shakespearean. So spiritually, yeah, she's a moirologist in a wig.
I'm picturing her trying to get through the bathroom door.
It's such Moira energy. A regular person. We're broke. Moira, we have been stripped of our worldly possessions and cast into a purgatorial wasteland of despair. That's pure fate and doom scholar energy. Moira Rose isn't based on a moirologist, but she absolutely speaks like she has a PhD in dramatic suffering. If anyone on TV majored in destiny, grief, and overreaction, it's Moira Rose. Fun fact, Catherine O'Hara invented Moira's accent, her vocabulary, her weird pronunciations, her dramatic speech patterns. Almost all of it was improvised. So Moira's doom poet way of talking, that's Catherine, just going full genius mode. And again, rest in peace, Catherine O'Hara.
Aw. Yeah. She has this, oh, I can't remember the word. She has this accent that I can't quite place.
I remember first watching Schitt's Creek and I'm like, what is she doing? Because it
like
was
a weird, like, emphasis on wrong parts of the word.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And I saw an interview with her and she was talking about how she fully just was like, this is how I think she needs to be. And the wigs was just like a thing. And then the wigs became their own personality. And Bebe.
Not Cheryl. She doesn't like to be with...
Still making us laugh.
Yeah. Love you.
Love you. Love you, Moira.
So yes, that was beautiful, devastating, iconic. And now, as Ghoul Talk tradition demands, it's time for Final Destination Amateur Hour, where common sense exits first and chaos takes the wheel.
Chaos takes the wheel!
All right, ghouls, the segment where we gather around the campfire of human decision-making and whisper, "Bestie, no." And this one is the perfect follow-up to what April was saying in one of our earlier episodes about how selfies have quietly become one of nature's favorite ways to humble us. Because apparently nothing motivates a human quite like the need to be perceived. This story is 100% true, wildly avoidable, and honestly feels like the universe filing a complaint. In 2015, in Norway, a man died after trying to take a selfie with a walrus.
Oh, no.
Yes. A walrus.
Oh my god.
The enormous sea mammal that looks like if it was an overstuffed sofa come to life and grew tusks out of spite. So here's what happened. A walrus had wandered onto shore, which is already kind of iconic behavior. Mm-hmm. Just this massive, blubbery, prehistoric nugget hauling itself out like, I require rest. I require peace. I require zero interaction.
Yeah.
People gathered to watch because obviously it's not every day you see a 2,000-pound ocean potato just posted up like it pays rent there.
A potato!
Officials later said the walrus was stressed because crowds were getting too close, especially people trying to photograph it. And one man thought, you know what this moment needs?
Oh god, no, it doesn't. I'm telling you.
Me. Closer.
Sir, no.
Not from a respectful distance, not a zoom lens, no, a selfie. Up close with the tusked sea beast. Which is the moment you can almost hear the Final Destination soundtrack creeping in.
Totally.
So we approach the walrus, again, an animal that is essentially a living boulder with opinions, and the walrus reacted exactly the way a walrus would react to being treated like a tourist attraction. It charged.
Yep.
It knocked him into the water, and tragically, the man drowned. Norwegian authorities confirmed the incident was linked to people approaching the walrus for photos. And listen, walruses are not sleepy plushies. They are not seal puppies. They are not here for your main character moment. Walruses can weigh over 1,000 kilograms. They are basically the ocean's version of a parked pickup truck.
Oh my god.
They're
when
huge.
you put it in perspective like that.
Yeah.
Damn.
They have tusks. They can move shockingly fast when annoyed. And they are fueled entirely by blubber, rage, and being left alone.
That's so scary.
This walrus did not wake up thinking, I hope I become an Instagram prop. It woke up thinking, I want to nap aggressively and maybe commit a minor crime. And the saddest part is, this didn't need to happen. It's a devastating reminder that wildlife is not content. Nature does not care about your angles. The walrus does not want to be tagged. Ghoul Talk PSA, delivered through disbelief. If you ever see a wild animal and think, should I go closer? No. If it has tusks, double no. If it is a 2,000-pound sea nugget with the power to end you, please back up. Let the walrus live. Let you live. Don't become a cautionary tale because you wanted to pick with Poseidon's ottoman.
Let you live.
Also, very fitting because, I wrote this and then, 2 days later, we heard about the girl with the snow leopard that took the selfie and got her mauled face. Literally, it just happened.
What's wrong with people?
There is a selfie, though.
This episode is brought to you by Spreaker, the platform responsible for a rapidly spreading condition known as podcast brain. Symptoms include buying microphones you don't need, explaining RSS feeds to confused relatives, and saying things like, "Sorry, I can't talk right now, I'm editing audio." If this sounds familiar, you're probably already a podcaster. The good news is Spreaker makes the whole process simple. You record your show, upload it once, and Spreaker distributes it everywhere people listen. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and about a dozen apps your cousin swears are the next big thing. Even better, Spreaker helps you monetize your show with ads, meaning your podcast might someday pay for, well, more microphones. Start your show today at Spreaker.com. Spreaker, because if you're going to talk to yourself for an hour, you might as well publish it.
They do have the
They
selfie.
have because the sick side of me always does wonder. So what does the selfie look like?
Did they get it?
I remember when I lived in Alberta, Canada. For those who don't know, one time I was driving down the highway and there was a massive, there's a lot of wildlife out there. There's a massive bear on the way to Banff, just on the side of the road. And I saw it and I was like, oh, cool, crazy. And I saw a whole bunch of cars pulled over at first. I'm like, what happened? Do you think accident, right? Or you don't see a bunch of cars pulled over? And I just keep driving and we're obviously rubbernecking as we're driving by. Luckily there was no other cars, but we see there's a bear and there's people parked and then just getting out of their car and taking pictures. I was like, that's a bear.
Bear.
Idiots. That thing could charge you. And these people were within 10 feet of it.
That's nuts.
Scary. And then we stopped at a gas station up the road a little while later. And people were there talking about it. And they were saying somebody had to come out from a house nearby and tell those people, get the freak out of here. It's a bear. Don't get out of your car. Don't pull over. Don't do it. They can charge your car too. Don't do anything.
Safe. And I can actually, you mentioned the bear. When we were in Timmins a few years ago, we were at a hunting camp and these men had got a bear. I have photos with that bear and how big his hand is.
Oh, scary. Let me see. Do you have the picture you can show us? Can we post it?
Yeah. I'll have to dig it up.
Oh,
but
cool.
Yeah, big claws. Crazy. Also really smelly.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my dad and a bunch of guys were up near Sudbury area in northern Ontario.
Yeah.
Timmins
that
area. Yeah, they were in this tiny little car and they struck a bear 3 or 4 in the morning.
Oh.
Totaled the car. Everybody was okay. The tow truck driver shows up and asked if he could take the bear unless anybody else there wanted it. And they're like, no, you're good. You can have it.
You're laughing, but that.
But it's
kind of
real,
stuff,
yeah.
That stuff happens in my house.
Yeah, that's
all
what
the
that
time.
was. Maybe it was Lance. Anybody gonna take this bear? Or you gonna fight? No,
People just
want
call
it,
him
or-
up. So I hit a deer. Do you want it?
Dear God, dear God. But I was a kid when that happened. That was my first time ever hearing that. I'm like, what? The guy wanted a bear? Why? I in my head I was like, he wanted a bearskin rug.
I was just gonna say he wanted a carpet.
But yeah, anyway, so that happened.
Wow,
Crazy.
we went off on a tangent.
We did, yes. So
I think it's your go.
it's my turn for my final destination?
Yeah.
All right. Well, here we go. So the other week, Jeremy, my husband, and I went to see Steve-O at his Crash and Burn tour. So naturally, it inspired my final destination for this week. Steve-O, as in Jackass Steve-O, if you guys are wondering.
Oh, I suddenly went right to the paper cuts between the toes and
Oh
stuff.
my God. The show was interesting, that's to say the least. It was cool seeing him in real life. Yeah, it was an experience, that's for sure. So this story involves Ryan Dunn, one of the stars of Jackass. On TV, he was the guy who got launched off shopping carts, lit himself on fire, crashed into walls, got knocked out for laughs, and always got back up. For years, his whole brand was, I survived stupid things, until one night he didn't. Ryan only made it to 34. Steve-O makes a joke about how he's now 50, and can we even believe he made it that far? Not really,
No.
honestly. If you know anything about the show Jackass, you know what I mean. Their stunts were wild and always dangerous. Ryan was out drinking with a friend at a bar near his hometown. Nothing unusual, he'd done this 1,000 times. But that night, he drank a lot. Security footage and receipts later showed that he was extremely intoxicated. So drunk that legally he shouldn't have been anywhere near a car. But he got into his Porsche anyway with his friend in the passenger seat and decided to drive fast. Witnesses and investigators believe that Ryan started speeding, not just a little, over 130 miles per hour, which is 210 kilometers an hour.
Canada.
On a dark 2-lane road. Just dark and trees. At that speed, you're not just driving, you're flying low to the ground. Dunn lost control of the car and left the road, hit a tree and exploded on impact.
Ugh.
Both men were killed instantly, and the car burned almost completely. There was nothing left to save. When police released the toxicology reports, it shocked people. Ryan's blood alcohol level was more than twice the legal limit. He wasn't just buzzed, he was heavily impaired and going triple the speed limit. It was a perfect storm. This time, Ryan wasn't doing a stunt. No cameras, no script, no paycheck. But mentally, he was probably still in, quote, jackass mode. That mindset of, I've done worse, I'll be fine, I always land it. Until one time, you don't. The rest of the Jackass cast were devastated. Devo later said Ryan's death was a wake-up call. That invincible feeling, it's fake. It runs out. Ryan Dunn survived fire, explosions, and shopping carts, but he couldn't survive believing he was untouchable. For years, Ryan Dunn made Danger look funny, but Danger was never laughing with him. It was just waiting for that one time he didn't walk away. And I think he had posted on Twitter, like a selfie of him and the guys he was drinking with hours before this happened.
Jeez.
Isn't that wild? He only made it to 34.
It's crazy. Well, it's very Paul Walker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, yeah, and you don't drink and drive.
No, like that ruined a lot of people's lives. Like if you go and think, Bam Margera went through hell after that.
Bam is
still not.
He's troubled now for sure. Yeah, I mean he's still alive, but so there's that. I mean, life lessons, and it's tragic nonetheless. All right, before we close up the diner for the night, it's time for our last segment, Buried Secrets Ghosted Again, where your spooky stories crawl out of the inbox and into our lives.
Okay. This was submitted, and I'll just get right into it. Hi, Sarah and April. Okay, I've never written into a podcast before, but I listen all the time while I'm cleaning or driving at night, and I finally realized I have a story that still makes me feel weird even talking about it.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This happened a couple years ago. My husband and I bought this small house just outside of town. Nothing fancy, just one of those older places where everything creaks a little and the basement always feels kind of unfinished. At first, everything was totally fine. The only thing that was kind of annoying was the laundry room light. It was one of those bulbs you turn on by pulling the little string, and it would randomly shut off sometimes.
Great.
Yeah. We assumed it was just old wiring or a crappy switch. Whatever. And then one night, I was down there folding clothes pretty late, like 11 p.m., and I heard footsteps upstairs. Not loud, just that soft, creaky sound of someone walking across the living room. And I remember calling out, like, hello, thinking my husband had gotten up. Nothing. So I went upstairs. He was fully asleep. I told myself the house was settling or I was just tired. But then it happened again. And again. Always when I was alone in the basement.
Basements, man.
I know.
Kevin McAllister taught us. Speaking of.
That furnace. Always those same slow footsteps, like someone was just wandering from one room to the next. And it wasn't dramatic. It was almost casual, which somehow made it worse. Then one night I went downstairs to switch the laundry over, and the light was already on.
Oh.
And I just froze on the stairs because I was like, wait, I didn't turn that on. I always have to pull the string. So I turned it off. And I'm not kidding. I barely made it up a few steps, and I heard the chain flick. I just got chills.
No, you didn't.
Like the little click sound, and the light came back on. Like someone down there was irritated with me for turning it off. This was the first time I got that really cold fear. Not like panic, just that awful feeling of being noticed. After that, little things started happening. Nothing huge, just strange. I'd come into the kitchen in the morning and one cabinet door would be open. Not all of them, just one. Like somebody had looked inside of it and forgot to close it.
Remember the cabinets from my...
I immediately went there. It's also, it could just be a person with ADHD. I leave all the cabinet doors open all of the time.
I never do, surprisingly.
Yeah, I'm constant. It's bad. The laundry room light thing kept happening constantly. My husband tried everything. New bulb, checked the chain. He even messed with the wiring because he was convinced it was electrical. It still kept happening. And the worst part was one night when we were both watching TV and we both heard it. Footsteps. Slow, heavy, deliberate, crossing the living room. We muted the show and just sat there listening. And then the basement door made that sound. Not opening, just the latch. That tiny click like someone had touched it. My husband shot up so fast he knocked into the coffee table. He yanked the basement door open immediately and there was nothing. Just darkness. The light was off. But the pull chain was swinging.
Ugh.
Like someone had just let go of it. We never saw anything, no shadows, no voices, nothing you could ever prove. It was just this constant feeling that something was moving through the house, like it was still living there, kind of on repeat. Ew. Anyway, love you guys and the show, and I genuinely still do not fold laundry at night anymore.
No, I wouldn't either.
From Kelsey.
She's not going to be like Kevin McAllister. I'm not afraid anymore. She's still afraid.
Yep.
And don't trust your basements, I guess, is the moral of the story.
I know.
Yikes.
I'm glad I only have a crawl space.
Ours is terrifying. Sometimes I open the door to like just go down in the basement, and it's like
I can't
a Blair
wait.
Witch Project basement.
I want to go.
It's sometimes the light will be on, but it's just like Jeremy left it on by accident. But I'm like, why is the light on in the basement? Like I'll always be like, the basement light's on. Why is it on? Like it's not supposed to be on. Creepy.
Yeah. Thank you for submitting that.
Mm-hmm.
We love them. We love these stories.
And we love hearing that people listen to us, and we're not we know we're not just talking to nobody. Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. That's it for episode 9 of GTOL. Thank you for spending your night with us.
And if you liked hanging out in our haunted little corner of the internet, please take a second to rate, review, and follow the show. It helps more ghouls find us and join the sleepover.
And don't forget, if you have a listener submission for Buried Secrets Ghosted Again, paranormal, creepy, or just deeply unsettling, send it our way to gtopenlate@gmail.com. Follow us on TikTok and Insta for more chaos, crumbs, and cursed content.
We'll be back in 2 weeks with more stories to whisper about in the dark. This has been Ghoul Talk Open Late, the spooky sleepover you never left.
Got a creepy, funny, or downright ridiculous story of your own? Send it our way. We love sharing listener tales. And remember, we can keep names anonymous if you like. Drop your story to gtopenlate@gmail.com and you might just hear it on Ghoul Talk Open Late.